clinicaltrials.gov is the largest database of clinical trials in the world. Most trials with at least one study site in the U.S. are here, as are trials from over 200 other countries. While comprehensive, it's not so easy to get from this screen to a list of currently recruiting clinical trials that might be an option for you. Let's walk through some tips and tricks. Start by selecting Advanced Search. Then, let's narrow it down right away to Recruiting and Not Yet Recruiting. This will give you trials that are actively accepting new patients and those that are coming down the road. That will help you assemble that list of planes on the runway. Let's add Expanded Access Available. This is a program that allows patients who cannot participate in a clinical trial to get access to an experimental treatment. And Approved for Marketing. This means the treatment has been approved by the FDA. What condition shall we put in? If you search for colon cancer, you get 345 studies. If you search for colorectal cancer, you get 1,534 studies. For rectal cancer, 401 studies. What's going on here? Some trials are tagged one way and some another way. The groups do not overlap perfectly. So to be sure your results are comprehensive, you need to use OR. Colon or rectal or colorectal or rectum neoplasm should get you the most complete listing. If your pathology says rectal, you could omit colon, but use all the other terms just in case. Let's also limit it to study type, interventional studies. This is what most patients would be looking for, a study that literally intervenes, provides a treatment or other action, rather than, for example, an observational study, which simply records what is happening over time. You can narrow your search by country. When searching in the U.S., however, you can only select one state at a time. If traveling for a trial is an option, you could leave that blank, or you can combine it with the distance filter, but there's a trick for that. If you select Maryland and run a search, you'll get 77 trials. If you then try and expand to within 100 miles of Maryland and run the search again, it won't change your results. You must put in a city and then the 100-mile parameter to get trials that are near Baltimore, but not only in Maryland. This will also work for countries in Europe. You should select a city and then the 100-mile parameter. How else can you refine your search? Could you put your MSS status in the Other Terms field? Unfortunately, this returns only a list where the term you use is explicitly mentioned in a key field, not an exhaustive list of all trials available. If you put in, for example, MSI, you get a very small number of trials in the United States, but there are trials for solid tumors or metastatic neoplasms that could be options that will not show up this way. So what can you do with this? You can try, for example, neoplasms in the condition and MSI. That turns up a few more trials. Many of these will accept colorectal cancer patients, even if it is not explicitly stated. Because the tagging by the researchers who input trials is not as consistent as it could be, you'll probably want to run a bunch of searches using tips we've discussed here. Try different terms, narrow down the type and status of the study, and limit the location. Once you get a list of studies, you can click Save for any that you want to take a closer look at. Go back to the top right corner, click Saved Studies, and use the Show Hide Columns button on the top right. You will want to keep the NCT number. You can then download this set of results as a PDF, which will keep the links to the records in the database. One final tip: if you search on a regular basis, scroll down to the bottom of the search screen and select Sort by Newest first. That will show you what has been added since your last search. Good luck, and don't forget, we have lots of patients and caregivers in Colontown who can help you with clinical trial options. If you're not a member, go to colontown.org/join and sign up now.